Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, we're going to continue our double XP money making guides, and this time we are going to be focusing on construction. Now construction now, as you've seen from plenty of guides before, is a serious money maker and kind of a method I would recommend a lot of people to train in the money making way, because it can seriously fund your account pretty much to max now. Like, the GP around construction is just incredible. So what we're going to be focusing on for this video is frames, and a select few frames as well, because there's certain ones which just make more money because they're a lot more consistently sold, because people are at a certain level when they want to buy frames. So to do this, you are going to need to do the new foundations quest, but again, it's very easy to get into. And if you are using this as a money maker as well, you can also do the lower level frames. They basically work in the same manner. It's just the ones we're going to focus on are sold more often and on a more regular basis, which is why you'll make sure to make your profit from it as well. But if you check margins with lower level frames, sometimes you can make better GP. It's just the rate at which they sell. They might take a little bit longer to sell. You might have to cut your price a little bit just to make sure they do sell. But again, frames are incredible for GP. Now, if you're looking to get into frames, what I would highly recommend is for you to do New Foundations Quest and make stonewall segments at 6 mil per hour to fund your construction up until about level 60. Level 60 is when you can start doing mahogany, which is where we're going to start in this video, and that's generally where you can make the most profit. So to do this, you need 12 planks. So 12 planks are going to turn into 3 refined planks. So it's 4 planks for every refined, and then 3 refined planks then turn into a frame. So each frame is a cost of 12 planks. Now, if you haven't seen my Herblog video, the super defense potion did actually sell for that price. And again, sometimes you just need to leave it in the grand exchange to sell, and it does sell over time. So like I said before, the first one we're going to look at is mahogany. So mahogany frame is going to come in its price of, and again, this is how we're basically going to do it. We're just going to check margins and stuff, because not only can we pick out potential flips, you can also pick out potential deals as well. So we've just found mahogany frames at the minute, very much below mid price. So that's sold for 46, and I'm pretty sure the mahogany frame non-price is 58. So that's 12k below mid price. So for me, I would debate whether that's an investment. Again, up to double XP, it can rise. It probably will rise, but it's still worthwhile having a look, see where you're in. So in terms of making it from scratch, 14k, you can then turn into a price of 46, which again is incredible profit. You're going to be, and also one thing we can do as well, if we check the refined plank price, these are very, very low volume. Sometimes they will buy for a decent price, and that's when I would suggest you jump in. But as you see here, refined planks hit a remarkable amount of low volume. Sometimes you can put an offer in for 100k and it just simply won't buy. But at least with the planks, if you wanted to do that particular one, or if you're level 60, what I would recommend is buy the planks, make mahogany, and with your profit, you could either save some frames or buy some frames, and then you can get your sort of construction to the next level. But to do that, you need level 60 construction to do mahogany frames. Now, mahogany is kind of the entry level one. We're now going to sort of review and go through what I class as the big three. So the big three are U, Magic, and Elder. U is kind of like the best bang for your buck frame, which is it's a bit on edge now, because that is actually a very good price for the mahogany ones. So a U one is currently going for a mid price there. So again, check your margins, because again, it could be a decent flip. But the margin's pretty tight there, so we're not too bothered. But 68.7k, which for a little bit less XP per hour than what mahogany is, again, you're probably going to look about a 10% decrease per hour. You can save quite a lot of money, and this is why sometimes doing something a little bit lower for a little bit more time can save you a lot of money. So 68k, we can then go and have a look at the refined U plank and see if it's worthwhile doing. And again, it highly depends on if these do buy. So are they going to buy? No, they're not. Again, because people will do frames in preparation for a double XP. They seriously are the best way to make some GP in a lead up. But as you see, with refined new planks here, the volume's low. So even though I've put in an offer for way below like what they should sell for, they don't, because there's no real volume there. So if you're looking at a price of a U plank, that is going to be 1.8k each, which is actually a little bit higher than what we normally are. But you can see here, 21k. Yes, we might have to pay a little bit more. So let's go 24k. You're going to turn 24k into 68k for a U frame, and you're going to get the XP alongside it as well. What people forget about frames is, yes, it's completely good money in good GP, but it's also going to train your construction as well. And especially when you're turning refined planks into frames, the XP there is very, very good. And I've done this method from sort of planks to refined planks to frames on numerous accounts and made bank on all of them. This is how I've built so many brand new accounts. is relying on this method because people will buy it and people will pay for how good and how AFK the XP is, because it really is worthwhile. Now, Magic is probably the one which I would consider the most dependable. It's the one where the price sort of stays around the same for the longest. U is the one where you can really get a good deal on it, and last year I managed to get U at a very good price. At the minute, Magic seems relatively low. As you can see, it's only 7k more than U, so again, if you have level 80 construction and the ability to do Magic frames, if you're looking to buy frames to train your construction over double XP, Magic frames are the one I would suggest because they're so much cheaper per XP compared to you, because it's only 7k more and you're going to get a lot more XP per frame as well. So we're just going to check the margin for the frame and we're going to get a price of 71. So again, you've got a little bit of a margin to work with as well. Not a lot, 2k, but there's some flexibility there. Again, it highlights how good the margin was with the mahogany frame. So let's see if we can buy a refined magic plank. So we're going to go and whack this up. So that is actually a pretty good price. And I've always found that the refined magic planks do buy the best. They really do buy over time if you put an offer in long enough, and for a pretty decent GP sort of price as well. So we can buy these refined magic planks and make quite comfortably 15k per frame, which is worthwhile doing in my opinion, because sometimes doing the planks to refined planks and then to the frames is a very long withdrawn process. If you can get the refined planks for a decent price, you could just be turning money really quick, whereas if you're making the planks into refined planks, it can be a little bit time intensive. Yes, you're making the money turning them into refined planks, and sometimes that could be better as well. You could sell them for refined planks. You don't have to just make them into frames. If you test the margins and make sure it's a worthwhile price, especially with low volume, you can make a lot more money with refined planks rather than frames. But if we're just going to go and check the price of the plank, let's go and have a look. A magic plank is 2,000 coins. Pretty reasonable to be fair, and you can kind of see where you're going to go and make the money. You're turning 24k at the minute into 75. That is 51k profit. Yes, it's more intensive. Yes, it's a little bit more annoying doing the whole process. But also, you can turn 6,000 coins into 14k quite comfortably. Me personally, I would probably go from plank to frame just because you've got such consistent profit. If you know you're making 51k per frame, once you've sort of finished selling them up as well, it's the sheer amount of profit you're going to have at the end. Kind of makes it worthwhile. And because it's magic as well, you're going to get really good XP. Like, magic planks and refined magic frames is how escaping free to play basically got to 99 construction. It did magic frames all the way from about 90-ish to 99. Yes, it was on double XP, so we were getting double the XP for making the frames. And again, that's how you could train construction on double XP. If you don't want to pay to go and use the frames in fourth frame construction, you can be using this money making method as a training method on double XP and be printing cash at the same time. The only thing I would say though is that frame prices dramatically drop off after the first couple of days, because a lot of people sort of buy their supplies, get them done, and then sell them on the Gun Exchange once they've saved supplies, because people will go for a round number. And with double XP as well, especially on World 84 where you should be training, things like pulse cores, all the buffs and stuff can sometimes save people a lot of supplies, which they won't know till we get to the end. So generally on a double XP, while you've got more people buying them to wanting to train construction, you can have more people selling them because they've used their supplies, realised they don't need them all, and then they've thrown them on the Grand Exchange to sell for a little bit of profit while they're still high. So the final one we're going to look at, and again, this is why we ran through these, it's because they're the most expensive, they're the most useful. And again, mahogany starts at level 60, which 60 really isn't that high of a level now, especially for construction, especially because of the quest. So the Elder frame has sold for its mid-price, 208k, which is extortionate. It is so expensive. I trained 120 construction with Elder frames on the first double XP frames were around for, and I paid about 80k each. 80k each for Elder frames, and I got away with robbery because that is just so cheap. So the refined Elder plank, I can't imagine selling, but even then, sometimes this is just so overpriced, it's actually not worth buying. 64k you can actually make a little bit of money with, but they're going to come in for a price of 67, which isn't terrible. You're basically going to be 201k, so it's kind of not worth it because you're going to make something like 7k. In that time, do things like mahogany, do things like magic, they are better profit. But if we had a look at the price of a Elder plank, what is this going to come in at? 12k. This is where you could probably make some money, and this will be the only plank I'll price check. The rest of the planks are pretty standard, they're not overly over mid. And if you are looking for a moneymaker as well, certain things can make you profit. If you're looking for a moneymaker as well, you can actually have a plank making machine in your machines, in your invention guild. And you can actually make a decent bit of profit with the planks. Elder especially is a good way I used to make money. Elder logs must be up in price, but if you're looking there, 11.9k, and you can turn it into 13.7 per plank. So 1.7k per plank for a machine, which is not going to require much effort, is still very, very good. But for me personally, with how prices currently are, I would look to slow buy the mahogany frames and try and flip them over time, because they are very, very much underpriced. Again, the mahogany frames is 56k, so you're saving yourself 19,000 coins. And actually, you know what? To prove a point, we're going to do this. We're going to go and buy 1,000, and we'll do 37123. And I'll leave it on my community tab if we do actually manage to sell them, because I do think it'll be a good flip. And we could show you guys that, like, what we talk about in these videos actually do work. It just takes a little bit of time and just making sure you can find the right thing. So let's throw that in. And then as well, magic is very, very good. U's decent. And again, the U plank really is not very expensive. So from level sort of 60 construction, you are going to make pretty huge profit all the way up. Don't think this is just a money making method though. You can definitely use this to make some profit and train at the same time. The XP is still very, very good, especially if you want to do it on double XP. Just be careful of prices and keep things selling as well. And then finally, just to finish this off, one final thing to go over as well is the stone wall segment. And this is one of the best ways to make money really early on in the game without much investment. And one of these, I think it takes something like 4 limestone bricks. Again, pretty decent margin there, 3k each. And if we have a look for a limestone brick on the Grand Exchange, you're going to be paying 4.2k, and you're going to be turning that into 12.6. Even if it's 4 limestones, which I actually think it might be now, you're paying 6k to turn into 12.6. But you can also buy some limestone bricks from Big Build for something like 20 GP each every single day. So make sure to be doing that. However, that is going to wrap up the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying all these double XP moneymakers. I hope they're going to help you out. But now is a very good time to prep construction, get training your construction, and making a lot of GP at the same time as well. You can do it from just planks. You can do it from refined planks. You can turn planks into refined planks and sell those as well. Or you can do the whole process and make frames. Either way, you're going to make a huge amount of GP. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what other double XP money making methods you guys want to see. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.